premonition. Here are your hosts, Ryan Ferran and Paul Tarek.
And welcome back to Living the Run this week. We're joined here with Ryan Ferran, who's making his way over to the table. He hasn't left me alone since the last time. Welcome back there, buddy.
Hey, good to be here. Ryan Ferran here. It is Living the Run Health and Fitness Radio. Max Woodcock, our executive producer, in studio as well. And that was the legendary voice of the Olympian Paul Anthony Tarek. A special and bittersweet show for us here at Living the Run. This is our final Living the Run radio show. Very sad that it is coming to an end, but it's been a great year and a half of Living the Run here on ESPN 1280 The Ticket. We hope we've made a little bit of difference in your lives promoting health and fitness. That's what we were here to do. It's been a pleasure doing that, being here with you every Wednesday night. And sad to see everyone go, but it's been a fun run, Paul.
Yeah, contrary to popular belief, it was not the FCC that shut us down either. It was, I believe you're going to be joining the news ranks again. Is this correct?
Yeah, I got offered a great opportunity at a TV station, KOLD, in Tucson, Arizona. I'll be doing a morning news reporting, getting back in the TV game full time. That's kind of been always a passion of mine. That's what I've done for my whole adult life, is TV news journalism. So it's a great opportunity, a great offer at a TV station out there, and I'm looking forward to it. Sad to leave the Central Coast, sad to leave this radio show and you guys, but it's kind of a great opportunity that I can't pass up, and kind of following the old dream and heading out to Tucson, Arizona.
Yeah, but you're, at least you're not going to the Midwest. You're not going to Michigan in December. You're going to Tucson, which I guess I don't understand the call sign there, KOLD. I mean, there's got to be some sort of play on words with that. That's got to get old after a while. I mean, it's Tucson. I've been there before. There's nothing cold about Tucson.
Absolutely correct. You're not the first person to bring that up. Won't be the last person, but yes, I hear it's warm out in Tucson.
Slightly toasty.
But the good news is it's not as warm as Phoenix, which is about an hour north of Tucson. It gets a little bit cooler at night, cools down a little bit better, and then doesn't get as brutally hot, but it's, no mistake about it. I'm going to be warm, especially coming from Shell Beach, where it's very cool, overcast today. I was kind of annoyed. I came from San Luis Obispo, drove down to Shell Beach today. I'm like, oh, man, it's fog, overcast. Like this, it's so sunny in San Luis Obispo. Then I was like, I better take advantage of the cool clouds, the overcast, the fog, because I'm going to be dreaming of this come July when I'm out for a run about 2 in the afternoon.
Yeah, you're getting it just about when the oven's warming up out there. I managed to spend a couple weeks out there over the summer one year, and it's a beautiful place in August, September, October, into the winter months. But man, I was out there in late July and August one year, and I'd never want to go back there again at that time of year. It was so hot. It was undescribable how hot it was.
It is brutally hot out there, but thousands of people live out there and they deal with it. So hopefully I will be one of the many that can deal with it as well. But I know I'll be missing the Central Coast dearly. So before we continue, we're going to talk to, by the way, Ben Green, the owner and head trainer of CrossFit Grover Beach, will be on the show. We'll talk CrossFit games that are in full swing right now.
He was kind enough to join us for that Monday Night Basketball League last week. It was an integral part of our victory. And you were too. I was quite surprised to see you out there after weeks of months of no practice. You were out there making an impact. That was it would have been nice to have you the week before.
Blind squirrel finds a nut once in a while. Is that the old saying? Found a couple nuts out there, and it was fun. Ben is very, very good at basketball, and you were the MVP, by the way.
I'm deadly from like 6 to 8 inches in. Outside of that, though, it's a little hit and miss.
You play great. Guys on the sidelines who didn't see you play before didn't know. They're like, "Who is this guy? He can jump through the building." I was like, "You should have seen him when he was so-called in shape."
Yeah.
But you played a fantastic game.
They were buying. They were believing right into the hype until I shot that 3-pointer, and
Yeah, but you were on fire. That's a heat check. You got to do that. You got to.
I know. That's what I've been saying all season.
It's a heat check. When you're feeling that good, you got to let one fly and see, if you're going to come back down to earth, or it's going to keep riding that wave.
Dude, you better not use up all your good sayings like that up here. You better save those when you get down there.
I know. I got a few sports cliches. If I ever get back into the sports broadcasting,
you're going to bust out the in fuego.
No, that's
Just do not say "boom goes the dynamite," please.
No,
Please.
I'm hoping none of that will come to my lips. But I want to get to some thank yous before I forget, before we run out of time. Also, quick reminder, Cal Poly women's basketball team kicking off the NIT tonight at Washington. Tom will have the call at about 6:50, 6:55. We will take you immediately out to Cal Poly Women's Hoop after Living the Run. So obviously we've been here about a year and a half. It's been an amazing run for us. Our mission was to promote health and fitness, educate and inform people, so they get a healthier, happier life. And hopefully we've, done at least a little bit of that. We brought on some great guests, doctors, nutritionists, cancer survivors, Olympic athletes, and just great stories. People who have been on weight loss shows, who have lost hundreds of pounds, husband and wives, and just some fantastic guests. So we hope we kind of did that mission, and but we couldn't have done that without our sponsors, who kind of took a chance when I went around town and asking, I have this idea for a radio show. It doesn't exist, and I'm not sure exactly what it's going to be, but you want to give us some money?
It doesn't happen yet, and I'm not sure what it's going to turn into.
Right. So
jump on board.
And some sponsors definitely took a chance with us and, believe in health and fitness and did that. So we appreciate them. Without them, we wouldn't be here. So we appreciate all those sponsors who took the chance and said, yeah, we'll sponsor the show. We think it's a good idea and we believe in health and fitness. So thanks to them. Obviously, our listeners, if you guys weren't here, then basically just be me and Paul in the room with Max talking, and we'd probably still do that, but it wouldn't be as effective, and we wouldn't be getting the word out. So we appreciate the support. A lot of people have spread the word, shared our links, liked us on Facebook, and, when they see us out and about, they say, oh, I love the show. Keep up the good work. So we appreciate the listeners so much. Natasha, our first producer, she took the plunge with us as well, did a fantastic job. She put up with Paul Tarek, not an easy job, and she moved on. And then Max, amazing, basically volunteered his time, not getting paid a dime because, well, we don't have a dime, and did a fantastic job running the board, producing. And then when Paul was gone, he started, basically co-hosting with me and contributing to the show, which was amazing. Super insightful comments, and I think he's got a big future in broadcasting if he continues it as well. Now. I know he did an amazing job. I was kind of shocked that you were just started off doing the board and producing, and then, Paul's gone, hey, you want to do some co-hosting? Sure, you stepped up, and some of our greatest shows. No offense, Paul, but
none taking it all.
Yes,
none taking it all.
But we've had some great conversations in here, and it's
our show is like a stepping stone to success. It really is. It's you have big shoes to fill now.
So Max,
we're all moving on up.
Yeah. So we appreciate all the hard work and all. In all sincerity, I appreciate it. You did a great job. He works his butt off like 10, 12-hour days, comes here and does it just because he believes in health and fitness as well, and volunteered to help us out with the show. So I am always going to be appreciative of that.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man. It's been a pleasure.
And, of course, Mike Chelson from ESPN Radio, getting us up and going and keeping us on the air. Him and Bill do a great job here at 1280, so appreciate them as well. Danielle Lerner, big supporter. I told her the idea way back when. I have this crazy idea. What do you think? And then she helped me with the website. She would copy edit all my articles and post, and then with the radio show, ideas, and she said, yeah, you can do it. Sounds kind of crazy. I know it's hard work. And then she'd make us a million iron-on T-shirts and promote the show. Was a guest on the show, talking about her half-marathon experience. So she was always a big fan of the show, big supporter. So we'll always appreciate that. And all our guests who've come on, absolutely amazing to have them. And we've had some great guests. I was looking at our guest list on the website and just remembering back to all, we've had Dan O'Brien and Dean Karnassus, Jordan Hesse, cancer survivors, doctors, and nutritionists, and just some really cool stories. So appreciate them coming on as well and making the show what it was. And, of course, the Olympian Paul Tarek. When I first met Paul a few years ago, he was training. He was ready on the Olympic team in 2004. He was out here trying to give it another go in 2008, and you would have probably been on the team again, but you had that knee injury. And so, I don't know, I think maybe Harry, your coach, came up to me at the gym, like, hey, got this athlete, great guy, should do a story. Went out to Atascadero when you were training with the legendary Dan O'Brien, did a story with you. I'm like, oh my goodness, this guy is like a journalist's dream. Knows his stuff, loves the camera, can articulate. You go talk to a lot of athletes, and they can't articulate what they're going to do, why they're doing it, they're passionate about it. I'm like, that was one of the greatest interviews I've ever had. I mean, we're talking about drug testing and then just training for the Olympics. I'm like, this is awesome. Then when I went to do this show a few years later, I was thinking, I was just going to do this show by myself. I was like, maybe I'll have a few people kind of come in, kind of guest co-host, and I'll see kind of who I mesh well with, and we'll bring in a co-host and see kind of how that goes. And then I'm like, just thinking about Paul again. I'm like, man, he'd be really good, but could he take that kind of secondary role, that back seat, because he has such that alpha dog personality, which is great, but I didn't know if we would blend well, on the radio and doing this. So I'm like, so I call Paul up. I'm like, hey, I got an idea. Let's go have lunch. So he's like, all right. So we go meet, and we have lunch. I'm like, dude, I got this idea for this radio show. He's like, yeah. It's like, I do have one concern. Do have one minor concern. And I was like, I know you're a really outgoing guy. You have a lot of ideas, a lot of opinions. That's what would make you great on the radio show. But, we can't be stepping over each other. How do you think we would do? He's like, no. We'd be fine. And so Paul came on day one, show one.
I just lied.
Yeah.
Lied straight to your face.
Yeah. And I lied right to him. I knew it.
And he just took all my airtime and ran with it. But no, it's been an amazing run, and I'm glad I wasn't even taking a chance, but it was just, you don't know how two people are going to mesh, and I've gotten so much feedback. People who are not exactly health and fitness fans, or, they're not out there eating salads and all that stuff every day, or runners, but they're like, you and Paul are hilarious. And it's Paul because he's knowledgeable, he's funny, he can make fun of you, but he can also take it as well. So I appreciate, and Paul also volunteered doing the show for absolutely nothing, just because he loves to do it. So, Paul, I appreciate all the time, energy you put in. You're working full-time as well, and when you weren't working, you were here, dragging your butt here after long days. So it's been fantastic working with you. I threw you to the fire a few weeks ago. How'd you do the show by yourself?
Yeah, that was a terrible idea. That's going to go down on YouTube as one of the worst ideas ever.
I know. I was actually talking to your wife about this today. I know you think you didn't do a good job. I was listening up in Sacramento, but you did a fantastic job, and you were, engaging. You kind of knew what to do, but you didn't take yourself too seriously. I thought you did awesome.
Oh, I appreciate it, man. And not to turn this into like an ego show or anything. I really appreciate the opportunity to come in and do this. Like you said, I'm really passionate about, just fitness and just being living an active lifestyle. And you talk about maybe we reached some listeners, maybe we didn't. But to be honest, if you wouldn't have invited me on the show, I'd probably weigh another 15 or 20 pounds. I wouldn't have gotten goaded into a 5K. I wouldn't have gotten goaded into doing the CrossFit Games at CrossFit Grover Beach. I probably wouldn't have tried to get in shape numerous times to try to, race you in that epic 10K that you want. But I really appreciate it, man. It was a good transition, I think, from when I was competing to still being able to be in the being an active role in track and field and just in fitness in general.
Yeah, no, I appreciate everything you did for the show, and it's been fun. It's been fun, doing the show, getting to know you better, and just like I said, your expertise is at such a unique level. Obviously, competing in the Olympics, 3 World Championships, but it's hard. A lot of people, and we all see this. The listeners, you know what I'm talking about. You're watching ESPN or some of the highest quality broadcasts, which we are not, but you see guys, former NFL guys, who are in the Hall of Fame. They played the game at the highest level, but they cannot articulate it to save their lives. They get the jobs because of their names, but it's not easy. Just because you did something doesn't mean you can articulate it, doesn't mean you can explain it, doesn't mean you can educate and inform others, and that's why Paul was so great and is so great, because he not only did it, but he can explain it, he can put it into layman's terms, and just, you really do have a gift for journalism and doing what you do.
Well, thanks, man. In layman's terms, those are the only ones I understand, though. I start trying to get technical, and it's like, whoa, with your newfangled 4-syllable word there.
But I could easily see you, NBC Olympics, they have the track, commentary. I could easily see you contributing to that and helping out. I mean, you know the sport, you know broadcasting, and you just, know how to do it. And I've been pleasantly surprised about how awesome you've been with the show. So I do appreciate it, and we'll try and end the Love Fest soon. But
oh, man, don't worry. On the first break, I'll get you that hug you're looking for.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. All right, speaking of breaks, we got to get to one coming up after the break. As we mentioned, Ben Green, the owner and head trainer at CrossFit Grover Beach, has suckered Paul into the CrossFit Games, which has been an absolute phenomenon for the CrossFit and the industry and all the gyms across the country, because it has taken off. So we'll find out what the CrossFit Games are, how you can get involved, and what some of the workouts are and all that sort of stuff. If you'd like to get in touch with the show, please do. Your last chance. Text 805-242-1280, 805-242-1280. We're also on Facebook, Facebook.com/Living the Run, Twitter, and you can watch our past shows on YouTube as well. We'll be right back with Ben Green talking CrossFit Games.
You're listening to Living the Run on ESPN Radio 1280 The Ticket.